there, folks, when somebody close to you dies, move seats. Today on Tundra Tactical, we are honoring the legend of Gaston Glock in the only way we know how, using deflection, displacement, and humor to avoid engaging with our real feelings. Watch as we try to combine pistols, assassinations, and equine breeding, so sit back and let's start the show. Gaston Glock is the man behind the gun that screams, "I'm practical and boring." Just like its creator, the Glock is unassuming, efficient, and nearly indestructible. You could say it's like a cockroach, just less charming. Gaston started out making curtain rods and then thought, why not guns? Because that is the totally natural progression path, isn't it? Hey, these curtain rods are really nice, but you know what they're missing? The ability to shoot. In the world of firearms where beauty and craftsmanship often take center stage, Gaston Glock entered with all of the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Gaston's idea of gun design was to take all the charm and whimsy Austrian engineers are famous for and strip it away. The result? A firearm that's so bland it makes Mitt Romney eating cold buttered tofu seem like a thrilling culinary adventure. Oh man, it's a good one. The Glock is like a blank Word document. It's functional, but devoid of any character or soul. It's a gun that if it were a movie, it would be paint drying the IMAX experience, with each sequel as uneventful as its predecessor. The design philosophy was apparently, if it ain't broke, don't make it interesting. Let's face it, the Glock is the IKEA furniture of firearms. It's cheap, practical, and you wouldn't show it off to your friends unless you wanted them to question your taste. It's the kind of gun that declares, I find comfort in conformity. Gaston Glock's approach to gun design was akin to a chef whose only seasoning is water. The Glock is a testament to the fact that sometimes less is just less.
New for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. This striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
And by PWS. PWS is now offering their advanced BDE suppressors in 4 caliber options: 7.62, 9mm, 22, and 5.56. These suppressors offer revolutionary sound control, all while remaining lightweight and tough. They're easy to clean, easy to install, and easy to maintain. These suppressors will make shooting even better than it was before. Click all the links down in the doobly-doo. All right, check this out. Old Gaston was not just a skilled engineer. Glock fought for his company literally. In 1999, his then business partner attempted to have Gaston Glock killed in an underground garage in Luxembourg. The assassin, if you can believe it, is a French professional wrestler who ambushed Gaston with a mallet. Gaston was knocked to the ground after taking 2 blows to the head. Much like his namesake pistols, Glock didn't jam in a fight. No one fights like Gaston, douses lights like Gaston in a wrestling match. Nobody bites like Gaston. That was pretty good. Springing up on legs toned by miles of daily swimming, Gaston drove his enormous fist into the assailant's eye socket. As the would-be assassin staggered, Glock pounced again, knocking out a few of the man's teeth. The bloodied attacker staggered and then collapsed. When the police arrived, the attacker was still knocked out, but Gaston was still standing. I do have to say, it does seem a bit ironic. Neither one of them had a gun. I digress. While Gaston sounds undeniably badass, we do have to talk about the Glock Fanboys. You can easily identify these guys at the range by the Glock hat they got for free 4 to 6 months after they mailed in their proof of purchase. They wield their Glocks with a pride usually reserved for much grander achievements than just dropping $500 at the local gun store. A Glock was their first firearm because they asked one of their cop buddies with small hands and gun knowledge as shallow as a kiddie pool what they should buy, and the question was inevitably answered with, you can't go wrong with the Glock. And sure, you can't go wrong, but you can't really go exciting either, can you? Not the country. Then there's the new Glock owner's obsession with showing off for the gram. You can identify a new Glock owner online by the sudden flood of social media posts featuring countless Dickens drills videos, each one's as repetitive and mundane as the last. It's less a display of skill and more a cry for validation. Really, it's just about letting the Glock hive mind know that they are now
one of them.
Hey, congratulations! You've joined a cult that hasn't advanced technology since the late 1900s. Wow! That makes me feel old.
Well, we'll show you, old man!
These guys are the Apple iPhone users of the gun world. Glock owners and marketing hype go together like peanut butter and jelly. Every time Glock releases a new generation, they all flock like it's the second coming. The Glock 17 Gen 5 is out. I mean, it's essentially the same thing as my Glock Gen 17 3, whatever it's called, but the slide serrations have moved half an inch. And just like that, they're all sold. But don't be fooled though, Glock fanboys have a level of autism not often found outside of comic books. At a mere glance, they can tell you the model and generation of any given Glock ever. Much like comic book guys can tell you the difference in various Batman suits, they can identify finger grooves and serration patterns like they're an FBI level analyst. They gained this knowledge through years of debating online with non-Glock owners and even other Glock owners about the superior model pistol and generation.
Perfection.
Glock's motto, Perfection, is a masterclass in irony, rivaled only by the enthusiasm Glock owners show to stripping their guns down to replace everything but the serial number. They treat their Glocks like a Mr. Potato Head, mix and match until it is unrecognizable. The Glock comes out of the box and their owners think, nice, let's now change everything. I mean, the aftermarket parts industry owes Glock a massage with a happy ending and a very nice fruit basket. Without them, their business would just be a bunch of guys with Dremels and dreams trying to sporterize Mosins and upgrade their Ruger 1022s. Glock Perfection is less of a statement of quality and more really of a DIY project challenge. It's like buying a car and saying it's perfect, except for the engine and the brakes and the shocks, engine, and let's see, the lack of cup holders. A Glock owner's shopping list reads like something Dr. Frankenstein would create if he went to gunsmithing school. New sights because the old ones somehow apparently offended the ancestors, a trigger upgrade to get rid of all that gritty pull, and a custom grip because the standard one feels like you're shaking hands with a pile of frozen fish sticks.
You're a rapper. Yes. An entrepreneur. Yes. And you like fish sticks. Yes.
Glock's motto really should be perfection. Some assembly required. It's the only product that receives more applause for its potential than its reality. Glock owners are a group of people who buy a product, then spend more money to make it what it was supposed to be in the first place. There they are, of course, closely related to all of the people out there who switch out their AK furniture to make them seem more like an AR. The unwavering belief among Glock enthusiasts is that their brand is the end-all be-all concealed carry firearm. Glock owners are the vegan CrossFitters of the CCW world. I mean, how do you know somebody's carrying a Glock as their CCW? Well, it's because they won't stop telling you. Yep, we all saw that coming a mile away. Suggesting any other brand to a Glock aficionado will lead to looks of shock and horror.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
When will I learn how to keep my big mouth shut will be the only thing running through your mind as the 30-minute mark passes on the Glock owner's monologue about why everything you've ever said about firearms is absolutely wrong. The lecture ends when you hear the word perfection or you pass out from boredom, whichever comes first. But it's boredom. Normally it's what comes first is boredom. In the Glock-obsessed world, carrying anything else is akin to bringing bacon-wrapped pork chops to a bris. They view every other polymer-framed striker-fired pistol as cheap knockoffs of the Mona Lisa. This isn't just brand loyalty, folks. It's brand idolatry. Mention H&K and watch them recoil in Gruesel. Suggest a Beretta and they'll look at you as if you've just spit in their linguine. The mere thought of carrying a non-Glock is so outlandish to them that they'd rather volunteer for an alien abduction with full-service probing than even consider a different firearm. In their eyes, the firearm world is a Glock-centric universe where everything else is just a faint star barely visible in the shadow that is Glock's luminescent glory. Their tunnel vision is so narrow, it makes the Marvel execs who keep employing Brie Larson look positively panoramic. This Glock-centric worldview is less about practicality and more about a bizarre brand of elitism where the name on the gun is more important than the hand that holds it. Hey, you remember how we discussed how Gaston was a super stud for defeating a would-be killer? You want to know his other passion? Well, it was also being a stud. Premium Glock brand horse semen. And how did they miss out on the tagline? Breeding perfection. Yeah, when he wasn't busy making guns that are about as exciting as a dial tone, he was playing matchmaker in the stables. Now, normally when people start a second business, it's somehow related to the first. I mean, imagine trying to find the customer for both of these products. How would that even go? Oh, hello, I need a semi-automatic pistol for the home defense. Ah, yes, no problem. We've got this Glock 17 Gen 5 right here. It's chambered in 9mm and holds 17 rounds in the magazine. It's got everything but the personality. Ah, danke. It's perfect. Ah, yes, we think so. Do you need anything else? Maybe a magazine, possibly a holster. Ah, yes, do you happen to know if I can find the 5 gallons of Supremo horse nut? Sir, you are not going to believe this. You have come to the right place. I mean, it's like walking into a bakery for bread and leaving with a fishing rod, I guess. Only Gaston Glock could pull off this weird, wild combo. Who knew the path from pistols to ponies could be so short? And then there's Gastons Marriage. Woo, buddy. Glock, the man famous for creating guns as exciting as a tax return, decided to do to his marriage what his customers do to his pistols. Upgrade the parts. Gaston swapped out his wife of 48 years for a newer model. Gaston's new Gen 2 wife was his nurse until they married in 2011. She was 31 and he was 82. He must have redefined till death do us part into until my nurse walks in. Subscribe. I mean, in fairness, nurses are crazy.